What's up? What's up? Real MVPs.
Real MVPs.
My voice decided to get away from me on that
Wubba
one.
wubba dub dub.
Oh.
Why are there so many ostriches?
This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up? What's up? Real MVPs. Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow Manchild Johnny Karlic.
Wubba wubba dub dub.
And Johnny, it feels so
you're just ignoring that one.
good. Yeah, I know. The thing Johnny's referencing is I may put it as a cold open just because you did that. My voice cracked, and it kind of sounded like the great late Barney Fife. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's dead. I think so. I'm going to look it up. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Because that's Don Knotts. Don Knotts.
Don Knotts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Don Knotts is dead. He is... Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, is he?
He died when we were sophomores in high school, Johnny.
Oh, wow.
That was a long time ago.
Maybe that's why I don't remember him dying.
13 years ago is when he died.
Wow.
February 24th. So, yeah, the great late Don Knotts. Johnny doing his rendition of what Barney Fife would sound like as Rick from Rick and Morty. But it is great to be back, as we were not here last week because I thought Saturday I got sick, and I was like, you know what? I'll be fine in the morning. I'll take NyQuil, take DayQuil. And then I woke up, and my throat was just, like, so irritated to where I'm like, what am I doing? I sound like I've smoked 50 packs, and I need a... What are those things called? The little thing you put on your throat to make you sound like this.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, that's what I sound. But I was more like, I sounded more metallic here. It was more like bassful and raspy. And I was like, shit, I got to tell Johnny I can't do a podcast. So we were off last week. It's great to be back this week. And boy, do we got a jam-packed show. We're going to be talking about Batman news. Spider-Man is back in the MCU. We got to talk about that as well. And then we're going to be potentially a surprise third topic. So I'll do a surprise tactic just in case we don't do it and push it to next week. But then we'll end the show. Pat Hill, one of our patrons, will be on. The first, I wish I had those like confetti things like pop, pop to put off confetti because we have our first call-in on the Rick and Johnny podcast today. Pat's going to be calling in. We're going to be talking about Stranger Things and what storylines we would like to see or could see for season 4. So I'll go ahead and start off by pitching the Patreon, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. If you want to be like Pat and help support us, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That link is down below in the description. The bronze, silver, gold tier. Bronze, you can join our Discord server. Silver, you can kind of suggest topics that you would like us to talk about on podcasts. And then numero tres is the gold tier. That's where you get to join a podcast of your choosing each month and choose the topic that we talk about. Like Pat, he wanted to talk about Stranger Things. We'll talk about Stranger Things later in the show. But Johnny, let's start off with some Batman news for Matt Reeves The Batman movie, which first off, I want to say the cool thing now about Spider-Man being back in the MCU, that means June 25th of 2021, we're going to get The Batman. And then a month later, July 21st of that same year, we're going to get Spider-Man 3. So we get now The Batman and Spider-Man 3 in the same year. And we may know who is going to play one of the villains opposite to Robert Pattinson's Batman. And this is from Variety. It reads, sources tell Variety that Jonah Hill is in talks to join Pattinson in Matt Reeves' The Batman. Insider also say Jeffrey Wright is in talks to play Commissioner Gordon. That is now true. Jeffrey Wright, the guy who we talked about in the What If topic. He is the black guy from Westworld. He's going to be the Watcher in the What If series. He's going to be our Commissioner Gordon in the Batman movie. It also says, according to sources, producers had long wanted Hill for the project, but casting decisions were put on hold until the role of Batman was filled. The deal hasn't closed, and sources say it could still fall apart, but both sides are engaging on Hill joining. As for who Hill is playing, that is still being worked out as well. But sources say he is being eyed for the villainous role. And Johnny, Batman fans, DC fans, they went crazy over this. And who could he play? Who could he be playing? Who could he not be playing? And the two that people are throwing out there and linking him to are the Penguin and the Riddler. So before we branch out and try to see if there's anyone else he could be playing in this movie, I want to ask you, if you are the head of casting for the Batman movie, and let's say you get Jonah Hill inked down on this deal, are you at the end getting him to play the Penguin, or are you getting him to play the Riddler?
Yes.
Just doesn't matter. Get him in the movie.
I mean, I feel like he could fit either role. Mm-hmm. Just seeing what I feel like, because he could. I mean, acting wise, I feel like he could fit either role.
Exactly.
Already. So it's like at that point, it's like, okay, who can I see him as? Mm-hmm. And I want to lean a little bit more towards the Riddler than the Penguin.
Ooh, you are in the minority there. I feel like most people see him more as the Penguin rather than the Riddler. But I don't know if that's because we're remembering fat Jonah Hill.
Exactly.
And not Jonah Hill that's in shape.
I think that's what everyone's
not
thinking
like
about.
Super in shape.
I actually typed in just so I could see, like, what does he look like today? Because I haven't seen him in a while.
Fat Jonah Hill.
And he's actually trimmed down a lot.
Oh, he has. He has. And that's a big thing of, like, where I'm kind of thinking the same thing as you, where today in the shower as I was thinking about it. Yes, I think of Jonah Hill in the shower. Sue me. But the thing...
You do you,
like,
man.
Whoa, you do you. I've thought of some of the roles that I've kind of seen him in recently. And when you look at it, like, I've always seen Jonah Hill as he can play that either when he was younger and fat Jonah Hill. He could play that kind of like goofy, kind of an asshole kind of a character. But then it kind of morphed into he could also play that like, wow, not mentally fucked up, but just like a guy who's fucked up in the head. And like some of his crazy rants when he starts going on those, like 21 Jump Street, he went on a lot of these. Wolf of Wall Street, he also had one of these. That movie about the guns, what was that one called? Not This Is the End. Fuck. What was the one called where they were like was it War Dogs? Yeah, War Dogs. The one where they're selling
Selling
guns.
arms, yeah.
Yeah, on both sides. Like those kind of speeches that he would go into, I'm like, I could kind of see that being like a Riddler type of speech. The only question is he thin? And this is me just physically asking. I know it doesn't matter. We don't have to have a Riddler like this, but based off of everything that we've seen, the Riddler from Gotham, Jim Carrey's Riddler, the Riddler in the comics, the Riddler in the animated series, the Riddler has always been a like ultra thin guy. Is that a negative, and why it's like, you know what, maybe we want Jonah Hill to be more of the Penguin than the Riddler?
Yeah, but the Penguin is usually portrayed as a plump, short dude.
Which Jonah Hill is short.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, yeah, you can either put on a weight suit, he can put on the weight again if he wants. But I mean, I would say I'm still going to lean towards Riddler just because he's not like ultra thin, like stick thin, doesn't mean he can't portray a good Riddler. I'd rather have a good actor that I know can play the role and I can still see him playing the part than, hey, he's not stick thin, so he can't do it.
Let's see.
Can I see him playing the Penguin too? Yeah, but I would more so see him playing the Riddler just because I think like with all the roles he's been in, he can kind of have fun with it.
Because Jonah Hill is my height. He's 5'7".
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, if he's going to play the Penguin, it's a fat suit. Like, it's going to be fat suit, prosthetics.
Yeah.
Because if I'm Jonah Hill, I'm like, I'm not putting on the weight.
I wouldn't blame him.
Actors, I feel like, if it's like, hey, I got to lose a lot of weight for this role, fuck it, because that might be good for me. The thing
Unless you're a method actor, you don't really want to gain the weight.
The thing you kind of see with all, like, what I've kind of seen when the media shows it, is a lot of the actors that kind of have the big, like, weight fluctuations, it kind of messes with them because it's like you're never in like one state of like, hey, I'm this and I'm healthy. It's like, no, I got to go all the way to this extreme and then all the way back to this extreme. And you're kind of going back and forth. So like you said, unless he's like going to do method acting for this, I don't think he would do that. The thing I want to ask you, though, is put yourself in the shoes of Jonah Hill. Mm-hmm. And, of course, this deal, like it said in the Variety article, is not a done deal. It could still fall apart. I know that there's, yesterday looking at, like, just Googling Jonah Hill to try to find, like, the latest, there were articles, but I didn't include them in our show outline because just I didn't know how reputable they would be. But, like, Jezebel, Movie Web, there's, let's see, Flickering Myth, all of these have mentioned the same thing. Number one is that apparently the rumor out there that is Jonah Hill is asking for $10 million to do this movie, which is more than double what the studio is paying Robert Pattinson. My thought with that is just Jonah Hill's established. Robert Pattinson, although he's established, I don't think he's as established as Jonah Hill. And also, this is Robert Pattinson's first Batman. Let's see if it actually works. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if those rumors are true, but that's just my first thought of it. But do you think that maybe the reason why this isn't a done deal yet is not just the money aspect, but put yourself in the shoes of Jonah Hill. Could the studio be saying, hey, we want you to play the Penguin? That's the one we would prefer. And maybe Jonah Hill's going, no, I want to be the Riddler. Because from most articles, it says the dispute, and the Variety one even said, it's not just money, it's also vision of the character as well. Mm-hmm. And if the studio is pigeonholing you into one thing, what if you don't want to play it? Could that be something where Warner Brothers wants him to be the Penguin, but he may want to be the Riddler instead?
Yeah, could be that. I mean, I don't know. That's a that's a hard thing to decide because we don't know the details of what's going on, so it could be the fact that he just doesn't. Like you said, he may not want to play the Penguin role. He may want to be the Riddler. It could be, they're not sure. Like, I mean, I would think they would know what villain they want to have in this movie at this point. I would hope they would, if they're trying to cast people for it. But I mean, if they're like, hey, do you want to play? We might have the Riddler in there, but we're definitely having the Penguin, and we want you to play the Penguin. He should. I mean, if they're gonna, this is supposed to have like 6 villains, isn't it?
That's what the rumor is.
The rumor is, yeah. So I mean,
it's supposed to be like we talked about last time, that detective style, more of the detective Batman than we've ever seen.
Then my money would be on. I mean, or not money, but I would say at that point, I would. If
you could put either or in there for a detective movie. Like the Riddler may be the more obvious choice because riddles and stuff. Yeah, you'd actually have to, like Batman, he being Batman, would actually have to use his brain. Work, yeah. But I mean, that's the thing with me. I know there's also articles out there where people have already penned him. Like, hey, this is what he could look like as the Riddler. And the image that I saw was more of like a steampunk version of the Riddler, which would look kind of cool, but I don't know if I would exactly be like... did it look cool? Yes, and I'm going to pull it up for you, Johnny, so that you can see it. That's what we'd be looking at.
Okay.
Kind of like a steampunk hat kind of a thing. I don't know about that. Where for audio listeners who can't see, because I'm going to try to put this in the video here because our camera focus isn't, but like he's got like a top hat with like a steampunk kind of like belt around the bottom,
gears and all this gears
shit. And stuff at the top, and he's got like a monocle that's like got like the 5 extenders, maybe like 3 extenders, so that can extend. I don't think, like, maybe nowadays that would be what the modern Riddler looks like, but like that to me is like It looks cool. I don't know if I want to see that in my Batman movie.
I don't know if I want to see steampunk Riddler in there. I'd rather see that actually comes off to me as more of
Mad Hatter.
yeah, especially because of the top hat. Usually, if anything, the Riddler is portrayed with a derby,
Exactly.
a bowler derby, whatever the hell it's called. Right?
The round hat.
Yeah.
Instead, is there a different? Last thing I'll ask you before we move on to Spider-Man. Is there a role other than Riddler, a different villain other than Riddler and Penguin, that you think Jonah Hill should play?
I'm trying to think because I'm gonna probably sound like a broken record if you go through the other,
We've talked about
sitting
this
with
before.
sitting with like a specific villain. I'm probably gonna sound like I keep favoring this one. Mad Hatter would be one of them. I don't remember the one with the puppet.
Oh, the ventriloquist.
The ventriloquist. I could see him
The
doing.
ventriloquist and the puppet was actually named Scarface.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's another one I could see him being. I'm trying to think of the more from the Rogues Gallery.
You know what would be fucking awesome with the ventriloquist and Scarface that I just thought of?
Huh.
What if it was kind of a thing where Jonah Hill actually plays the ventriloquist, but then does the voice for Scarface?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, in this universe, it's kind of like since the ventriloquist is supposed to be like a schizo, and he's got that dual personality, and that Scarface is his other personality coming out through the puppet.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool, where it's like his more timid acting is the ventriloquist, who he actually is, but then he does the voiceover, a more aggressive character for that Scarface. And I think if they did it that way, he could fucking nail that.
Yeah.
The only thing is, if you're going to have, like, and we don't know, like you mentioned, who else they are targeting. Obviously, Jonah Hill is a big name. And watch, it'll be like a, oh, fuck, why am I blanking on his name? Tyrion, Peter Dinklage thing.
Yeah.
Watch it be like a Peter Dinklage thing from Marvel. We're like, oh, he's going to be this. He's perfect for this. And they're like, curveball. He ends up being this guy out of left field. The other villain, I don't know if he's perfect for this. This is just me throwing it out there that maybe we could see in a Batman movie someday as Clayface. But I don't know if he's big enough for Clayface.
Oh, yeah, maybe not. Cause,
I mean,
Clayface looks.
Mark Ruffalo isn't as tall as the Hulk, and he can still play the Hulk.
This is all about CGI. At that
Exactly.
point.
That would be. But I'm even thinking, how tall is Mark Ruffalo?
I don't know.
I was going to say, do you know off the top of your head?
No.
All these actor heights? He's 5'8", so yeah, I was thinking he's the same ballpark as Jonah Hill, but I don't think he's in the running for Clayface. Don't get me twisted there.
Can you see him as a scarecrow or not really?
No, Scarecrow's got to be thinner. Scarecrow's almost got to be rail thin in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's a Scarecrow. I think the paint. With me, I disagree with you in the sense of if I was penning him for a role, although he's not fat Jonah Hill, I think the Penguin would be right up his alley. But I think he could play a phenomenal Riddler as well. But other than the Penguin, I think the Riddler...
You convinced yourself to change your mind then from the beginning?
What?
I thought you said you agreed with the Riddler in the beginning.
So, I agree that he could play the Riddler, but if I had to choose, I'd choose the Penguin.
Oh, okay, now I gotcha.
I think he could nail the Riddler. I wouldn't be upset if he was the Riddler. I just feel like he'd do great in either role, but I would probably, if I was casting him, cast him to be the Penguin over the Riddler. Do you have any final thoughts on this before we move on into your boy, or my boy, your superhero department in Marvel?
No, I was just trying to see if there's anyone else from his Rogues Gallery I could see him as, and I would just the Riddler, Penguin, and the two we mentioned.
Yeah, ventriloquist would be one of them.
Yeah, and then we said Mad Hatter. More so those types of roles for him.
Yeah, but this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. Jonah Hill, do you think is going to be the Penguin, the Riddler? Does he even fall through? Does it not happen? Who else could you see him playing? Let us know what you guys think in that comment section.